Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Yeah, it's me. Coming back at you with them big quick updates.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
Feed the fire.
Let the last cinders burn.
Oh man, dude. Okay, so today...
Big news.
Today is going to be a little bit of a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's an episode out of time, which doesn't mean anything in this context, but I've heard that term being used before.
Oh.
This is our first episode with the new board.
Mm-hmm.
If things sound different, I'm still trying to work out with this new soundboard.
Yeah.
As we said a couple weeks ago, the previous soundboard that we had just shit the bed.
Yeah.
You know, just took
Up and died.
Took a big poopy on us, and that's okay. It lasted long, and it stood true for
Did its job.
3 years?
Just about.
You know, hey, that's every week for 3 years, multiple times a week for 3 years. And that's it's pretty good, I guess.
Strong.
So we, of course, obviously the show in the previous weeks has sounded differently.
Yeah.
And this is no exception. This is the new board, and I'm still, like I said, working some things out. So
It's real pretty.
it's lit up like a Christmas tree. Look at it.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of lights on it. So yeah, that's just a little housekeeping. If things sound different or better, in my personal opinion, than they have for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
That is the reason. But with that as well, it's a different episode because
We never watched a movie and or show for this one.
right.
Nothing in particular. However,
But in no surprise to anyone, I asked Dylan. I was like, "Hey, can we just talk about?"
we got some shit to cover.
We got some robots to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And Dylan was like, "Who, me?"
Aw.
Yeah. You think me, the guy who likes all kinds of mecha, doesn't want to just talk about robots? So obviously, the big thing, the thing that we kind of teased at the top of this episode is, by the time you guys are hearing this, it will have been the day prior.
Yeah. Any of you who are cool will know immediately what we're talking about based on that little tidbit we gave you earlier.
Of course. We just got a gameplay drop, trailer that dropped for Armored Core 6.
Yes.
Fires.
The Fires of Rubicon.
Fires of Rubicon, and boy, howdy.
She looks fucking beautiful.
Dude, I've got a lot to say, but
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we get jumped in, another thing that I like to kind of tag in this conversation while we're talking about the introduction here
Yeah.
is we also have been watching since our
little vacay.
vacation to Florida.
The stank leg of the country.
We started watching what would it be considered? Is it the series, like
The
TV
TV
series?
series, yes.
TV series of
Patlabor, the mobile police.
And I have seen
Couple of movies.
movies. I haven't seen the OVA.
An episode or two of the original OVA.
Got it. Okay. So I've
But
seen.
that was a while ago.
I've seen sprinklings of Patlabor, and I
Enough
believe
to get the basic gist.
I want to say once upon a time you showed me the first episode of the anime, or we watched like one or two
It
episodes.
was the OVA, yeah.
Oh, it was? Okay. Well, then never mind. Then pardon me.
Your memory's hazy.
Yeah.
old
Well,
man.
you know, it's been a while,
Right.
and I've seen a lot since then. We've watched a lot since
We
then.
have,
in my
yes.
defense.
Went through fucking Zeta. Anybody would be reeling
man.
after that shit.
Gosh, what a. We also and another thing too. We watched all of Wing, which took us a little bit of time.
Oh, but what fun!
Oh, what a
Dude, I
what a
fucking
trip!
love that show.
We're keeping it in theme with
God.
big robots today. What a trip that was! My first watch of Gundam Wing. Man, what an iconic show.
See, the worst part is because it was all I had, I tend to do this very often because I'm impatient.
Right.
But I had already ordered the Blu-ray for Endless Waltz.
Oh, yes.
Whenever
I
that
forgot
came
about
in,
that.
It was like during, like, I want to say pre-Christmas. And I was like, hey, man, you want to watch something? get you in the mood for the holidays.
That sounds about right.
Like, let's slap Endless Waltz in my, in my PlayStation real quick.
Let's go ahead and do that real quick.
It has Christmas in it, therefore Christmas.
Yeah.
There we go.
It counts, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I honestly don't remember what your take on it was. Could you remind me?
I remember I liked the suit designs in Endless Waltz.
Oh, they're peak.
Right.
Those are the best versions of those.
I was gonna
suits.
say I don't want to offend anybody right at the top of the show, but I liked Endless Waltz's suit design better.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of hurt me going back to the original because I was like, oh man, I wish they were just that little bit.
You got to see the progenitors and be like,
right.
What the?
It wasn't bad. They were. I mean, all the suit designs.
They're still cool.
Right.
Still damage dealers.
I also I remember the story mostly, but the big takeaway was like the ending was super cool. You got this like team of guys.
Oh yeah.
And they all kind of like
the Meteor crew.
They're going out like in a blaze of glory kind of thing, which is already like a pretty cool premise of like you get to see them a little bit and interact with them and see
stacked against them.
Right. And it's kind of like, I mean, you can't really in like a hero format, like that's a pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
If it's written correctly, it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of sick.
The hypest action.
Right. So that was kind of my takeaway in that regard.
How about that heavy arms?
Oh gosh. I'm not gonna lie, I like the Wing Gundam too.
Yeah.
I like the kind of weird
With the full on angel wings.
Right. I mean, if we're gonna call it wing, I mean, and you're gonna give a robot wings, I thought it was like a good implementation of it.
Right.
Not gonna lie though, like Death Scythe is kind of sick too.
Oh, yeah.
It's in its own way. The Beam Scythe,
The Death Scythe Hell custom.
Yeah, right. It's like it's pretty cool. And what a name.
Yeah, dude. How the fuck are you gonna beat that thing?
I don't know, dude. It's pretty cool. But anyways, back to Patlabor for a second. I've seen a whole bunch and I liked it. I remember it was like I liked the vibe.
Yeah.
Like the movie is kind of a different vibe in some regard than the show is. And it really does kind of it. You know what it feels like?
What?
It gives me the same sort of I can't think of the name.
Come on, man.
I got whole. Give me a minute.
Uh-huh.
Standalone complex / Ghost in the Shell. Like how they're very different from each other, but they're both very great.
Now, when you say that, you're talking about like Standalone Complex and the original movie,
right?
Okay.
How like they have a different. They like are just a little bit different in the art style, a little different in like the tone and the feel, but they're both great individually, but in the same universe, same characters. Right. And so I feel the same way. I remember like the Patlabor movie that I had watched, it has a little different art style, different tone, kind of different vibe all about it, but it's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
And then take that and put it in this world, and like the TV show is a lot more like classic.
Put a little more brevity in there.
Right. It feels like an 80s / 90s anime where like it has its serious moments, but it also can be fun and kind of you have like some really great comedic characters in there as well. A couple of tropes, but I mean it's all in good fun.
But you love them
I know,
all.
and I love it, dude. It's so cool. And so it's a great team. Again, same universe, same people mostly, but it just has like
pre-established.
Right. And I enjoy it. And then so far we've gotten a little over halfway.
Yep. Almost finished.
Ooh, man.
We're getting into the part that Ian's been looking forward to the most.
Oh, man. So he showed me this suit called the Griffin.
Yes.
And for anybody out there who may know or anybody that was willing to look it up, the Patlabor Griffin.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh, man. That's an understatement. Dude, it's a good looking model.
Oh yeah.
I in the series, like the original, what is it called? The 90 R98? Or like the
You're talking about the Ingram?
The Ingrams, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool design.
Right.
And in
a staple.
In the movie,
the face of it.
Right. In the movie, I never saw them. I know they probably do this, but like in the movie, I always saw them like just at the part where the chest and the neck meets. They have like this like almost like viewing platform they can like look out of.
The seat in the cockpit is able to slide up. And
right.
They're able to
And
Take a
I
look.
thought that it was fixed there.
Oh,
I never,
no.
and so I didn't. And I think that's just from what I had seen.
Mhm.
And then in this show, like I saw it a couple times where like they like move down and like it hunkers over like on top of them.
Yeah.
And it makes like a cockpit. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And I think it was just for the first time I got to see it like in action. And I was like, oh, that makes more sense now.
Right.
Because at
So
first
cool.
it's a really cool design. I also love the extendo arm to get
Oh,
their
dude.
pistol out.
Yes.
it's
It's
pretty cool.
perfect.
They have like in their right calf, they have like a compartment that like kicks out away from them, and it holds a giant revolver.
Yeah.
And because they're standing straight up, they can't like bend down. Or I mean, they probably could, but like I guess for ease of access,
Right.
the where the
Quick on the draw.
where the hand or like the wrist is, where like the hand meets the forearm, it like extends out like go gadget,
Right.
and it grabs the gun, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You can't really
Go gadget gat grab.
yeah, go gadget, get my gun.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool look, and I think it's really fun, and it's like I said, it has its serious moments, but it's the series I think is more fun to watch.
Yes.
And I've been really enjoying it, and I'm excited to kind of keep.
You follow the kooky cast
Oh,
of the
man.
SV2,
Right.
and
I guess one thing we should say this. What Patlabor is like imagine an alternate future or a not so distant future.
where Japan has decided to crack down on on crime a little harder than most other countries would, I feel. But
Well, I mean,
with good reason.
in their defense, yeah. So basically, imagine a not so distant future where like you're able to. There are mechs in some capacity. They're called laborers in like the working force, like can
designed
construct,
specifically for construction.
which makes sense. I mean, if there was ever,
that is the only
right.
function I could see them fulfilling.
Because to be honest, in like real life, we've got backhoes and tractors and these like big machines. Like what if it was mobile? And I don't know. Probably not logical, but it's fun.
Definitely not. But
Anyways,
it's a dream that I refuse to give up on.
exactly. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
And
on my
so
deathbed, I'm just gonna see the words, but the future refused to change.
yeah. Oh man. Wow.
I will die in
die.
forever discontent if ever I am able to pass before that shit happens.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. For
I'm gonna
you, 'cause
make it happen.
I'm gonna make it happen. You're gonna single-handedly be the cause of giant robots.
The
in this
new
world.
hell.
But basically, what they do is they, I guess like, labor crime is a thing.
People decide that they can use these for
Nefarious purposes, which I mean, to be honest, feels very real. You know, if there was ever a thing that like, that people would probably take advantage of, it's the fact that it's a giant robot. They can,
That's why I've got the rule of two in my head. If you're gonna make one, you better make a second one.
There you go to
So that
stop
if the
them.
yes, because you know one of these motherfuckers is gonna go off the rails,
Right.
And then you gotta bust out the new shit.
Exactly. And that's exactly what this is. And there's actually there's a little touch as well in the show, at least, about them being used like in military purposes as well, but it's not really stressed on,
Right.
at least in this aspect
It's its
of
own
the show.
thing.
Right. So again, in this future, those things exist.
Right.
And like Dylan was saying, they created these like police versions,
Yes.
and they're like all black and white, pretty sleek looking in my personal opinion. Kind of, I love they got a really
laborers.
right, exactly, patrol labors, which are shortened to Patlabor.
Yes, the namesake.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love the fact that their like shoulder epithets they have are
Just the
like
lights.
like bar lights, and I'm like, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Like red police lights on their shoulders, like that's cool. I like that. And so this show kind of follows the squad, the merry band of misfits that is this kind of police team.
Right.
They have two of them.
The first division is highly regarded. Like they actually take their jobs seriously and get things done with minimal risk to the public.
Do we actually see them at all?
We
really?
do.
Okay. Because at first I haven't really.
We've seen glances. Shinobu is the division leader.
Of course, yeah, right.
One. And I think Gomioka is the only other pilot we see for that division, along with the dude whose glasses I can't remember the name of. But we see them in action every now and then, and of course they're like completely straight-laced, like model officers. And then
and there's Division 2.
Yep. We focus and stick with them for like the duration of the series as a whole.
Right, they're our main cast, and I think, and I like this because it plays into what's it called, 8th MS team.
Mm-hmm.
You have a squad full of guys or squad full of people, and they all have a job, or they all like have a thing that they're good at.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same thing with Ghost in the Shell. If we're making parallels here,
Right?
Like I like a good team of people that are all like specifically good at their thing. And they all come together to make a really fun team that are all like unique individuals.
Multifaceted.
I like that. I like that in the show, and I like when it's done well. And this show is like really shaping up to be that prime example of like, so basically, they got 2 robots,
right?
1 pilot for each of them. And then they got these things, what they call transport cars. What are they?
Mini Pats.
Is that what the big thing is that carries them on?
No. Those are the carriers.
Okay, so they have these 2 massive vehicles that, like, imagine this robot takes a step back onto this like platform that's like
the truck bed for all intents and purposes.
Exactly, but it's vertical.
It's raised up, yeah.
Yeah, and so they like fix into it, and then it lays down, and so
boom,
and then boom,
mobile.
You can just travel with it, which is cool. And so you have a specific person that drives that.
Right.
And so again, obviously for 2 of those, you have 2 people for that. So far we have a team of 4.
Yes.
And then they have these things, they're called command cars.
Yes, command cars.
And I guess that is
there is an operator for each mech.
Right. And they're like in constant communication for the mech to kind of like
shouting orders, acting as an extra pair of eyes.
Right. And I think it's cool. So again, they have 2 of those.
It's a very convenient setup.
Right. Well, so whenever the full squad is going, you got like these 2 massive trucks with the pilots in the passenger seat of those trucks a lot of times, or in the command cars.
Right.
And they're just like, they're all cruising 4 cars deep, and they're just driving up on
a whole convoy.
I know, a whole convoy. And then what is the other one? The mini
Pat.
The mini Pat. And so I guess that's like another little car that, kind of drives there.
Right.
And
that's usually what the division leader ends up going in.
Okay, I see. But yeah, so like you have they got the command cars are like kind of armored vehicles in a way, but they're kind of small, so they're compact,
stout, and scrappy.
They got police bars. They're all white. They have like armored plating on them and stuff, and like it's a really cool design, and I think it's a really pretty show, and I think it just has a certain charm about it, and I love it. And so with that, of course, they all will roll up on a scene. The truck bed will lift up. They'll disconnect, and it's like
more often than not, those things will act as barricades.
right, yeah,
to prevent escape.
Right,
because they're just so fucking huge.
They're massive. Yeah. It's a huge ass truck.
I
wouldn't be surprised if it takes up just a full 2 lanes of road. Is what it feels like sometimes.
Of course, they got to clear the way.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so I love it. It's a really cool show.
It's got a super cool premise, very unique.
I like the music. The music in the whole show is really good.
Oh my god,
the look of it's really cool. Again, there's a few characters that I even some of the comedic relief characters, they do a really good job. Of like well rounding them.
They'll joke as they do every now and then, but whenever the situation requires like full attention, they're straight laced. Like
what I can't remember his name.
Ota?
Yeah, dude. Ota, dude. He's the trigger happy one.
Not the cop.
And he's a great character. And I
Kanaka says in her report, it's a miracle this man was ever given a gun and a badge.
It's very true.
He is. Now, he's got respect for the line of duty.
Yes. He has honor
and respect. He takes rules and regulations very seriously.
Right.
He acts the part.
Right.
But if you get him angry...
Oh, buddy. He has a short fuse. And once he goes off, boy...
He is a walking personification of the words hair and trigger.
Oh, yeah. Man, he... Like, the funny thing is, like, he is...
the pilot of Unit 2.
Right. Unit 1...
Alphonse.
known as? What is her name?
Noah.
Bright. No, I'm kidding. her name is Noah.
Daughter of Slap.
Yeah, right. She's a great lead in this show. Really awesome.
One of my favorites.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like to use her pistol unless like really necessary. And even then she still tries to find a way to neutralize the target without, using that much force.
The gun is the last resort for her.
Oh man, and I'm telling you what, Ota, that's like his first reaction.
Complete opposite.
Yeah. They get on the scene, doesn't even know what fully is happening. Is like, bam, gun. What's happening?
First, ask questions later.
You're like, Ota, chill, dude. Damn.
Pay for damages later.
Right, exactly. Oh man, there's one scene in particular that makes me laugh. Is like he has already expended all his ammunition, like shooting wildly, and then he's like, "Quick, give me more ammunition." And he's like, "We didn't bring any more.
That was all we had, you dumbass.
I didn't think we were gonna need any more.
You already really destroyed the shit out of that tree."
Oh man, you just keep shooting. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
As far as I'm concerned, that house didn't commit any crimes, bro.
Right. But you sure as hell are committing some,
Yeah, property damage.
Right.
Woo.
Yeah, look at that.
Through the roof, man.
But yeah, it's really great. I love those characters and even him. Like there's a couple of moments where we've really seen a softer side of him, and it was really cool to see.
At his core, he is a good person.
Yes.
And wants to do the right thing.
Right. He just has a little bit of a temper.
He just comes off as this insufferable maniac.
Oh yeah. And even there's a what is the lieutenant's name that went that came from America that went back?
Kanaka.
Was she a lieutenant? I forgot.
No, she was definitely a higher rank,
right,
when compared to the rest of the squad. But yes, that is Officer Kanaka Clancy.
Whenever she left, like a prime example of this is like whenever she was leaving, everyone was kind of like, they were kind of hiding because they were like, we don't want to really say goodbye because it was like, and it was like a really touching moment. And Noah was there for her because like they were the kind of like the two females on the squad, so she was kind of like bonding with her in that moment. And like a prime example is like she's leaving on the escalator, going out, and their Ota is just like saluting her like at attention, and it's like this.
Because for the most part, while she was there, she was the one who kept him in line most of the time.
Right, and so it's like that level of like he's got some level of respect, and it's like that's super cool.
Yeah.
So, and then right back to being a maniac. So it's like there's like these touches where like he really is a normal. He's a complex guy. But man, whenever he's in, the suit,
keep your eye on him.
Right, keep your eye on his trigger because he's not.
One of my favorite bits is after Kanaka leaves, Shinshi is put as his command car driver. Now, the thing about Shinshi is, he's a very meek man.
Right.
Real shy, just sort of under the radar for most of the series. He chimes in every now and then, but he's got a little tick about him. If you if you push him over the edge, if you make maybe a little too much fun of him,
you question his masculinity,
explode. He will destroy you.
Yes. Which, I mean, I don't blame him.
No, of course.
I have been typecast as that person a lot because I've been a very like chill, laid back person. But just like anybody who's like quiet and put together and calm, like the second you push him a little too far, you're like, ooh, shit, he's really mad.
Yeah.
And I think I got that from my dad. But that's the same sort of thing. It's like, it's all fun and games until like you push the quiet guy a little too far. And then it's like, man, maybe we should like calm down. So he's really mad now.
They describe him as a backfire.
Oh,
so... Right. We first see this whenever they undergo the training exercises to determine who's going to be in what position.
Right. It's like a placement almost,
yes. Whenever he goes up against Ota, the standard procedure before they fight is to bow.
Right.
And then they'll begin.
Yeah.
Ota, being Ota, goes ahead and grabs his pistol, fires a couple paint rounds at him.
Yeah.
And boom. He who strikes first wins.
Right.
And, she takes offense to this.
Oh, yeah. Well, because also his wife's there.
Right.
And she's
just
like,
been made a fool of in front of his
instantly.
spouse, and he flies off the handle.
Yeah.
Just pins over the ground and just starts wailing on him.
Just starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's
It's
hilarious.
great. I love it.
That's another thing about him is that he's the only married man on that team.
Right.
So we get a bit of a unique perspective as far as he goes.
Right.
Now, at first there are difficulties whenever he's trying to like keep Ota under control because he can't.
Yeah. He's a reckless man.
They're two polar opposites trying to work things out.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm. But the thing I love about it is that whenever shit starts hitting the fan and they're having to nail this dude in like a construction labor who's like just wrecking shit at an intersection in town, Shinji gets pissed off after he overhears the SWAT team like just shitting on them.
Yeah.
Like, because of course, like, they're just a bunch of dudes with riot shields trying to apprehend this guy in a mech.
Right.
You can imagine how well this is going.
Right. It's not.
And they're just talking shit like, oh, why don't you step aside and let the real man handle this?
Right.
No. He's
like
not
I said,
it.
it's whenever you question his masculinity a little too much sometimes is when it's like, well, that's a surefire way to just really get under his skin.
Have it.
Nah, dude.
So he jumps in the command car, yells at Ota to get in his labor. We're moving out.
Right.
The rest of the squad's just like, we didn't receive orders. And Goto, the division leader, is just like, you better fucking follow him then.
Yeah, because I'm not going to stop him.
The best part of this is Shinji just straight up uses the car as a diversion and is just like fishtailing through the dude's legs like it's nothing, like narrowly avoiding this thing's arms.
Right.
He is almost killed like 3 separate times.
Right.
And as soon as he lines up a shot for Ota, he's like, fucking fire now! Like,
shoot him.
He's like right next to the dude too, so he's in the line of fire.
Yikes.
A stray shot and that's it.
Right.
But Ota is like stammering, like, okay. Of course, his aim is true.
Right.
He's like the best marksman on the team. He's able to hit most of his shots most of the time.
Right.
It's just so happens that we've only seen his flubs and mess ups.
Oh, right. Yeah. He's a great marksman, but again, his temper gets the best of him, and it gets a little harder to, justify.
Exactly. But as soon as he sees that his partner's life is on the line, he straightens out and takes the dude down.
And that's what I mean. Is like he's a funny, off the rails kind of. Both of them, like are dynamic in their in their delivery and stuff like that. So it is interesting to see these characters that, like, again, in those real, when put under pressure, when put into the fire, like they prove it. You're like, oh yeah, like they're good characters. They're just wacky boys, just is what it is.
Now, my other favorite character is Hiromi. Big dude. Gentle giant.
Yeah, gentle giant. That's a good,
Love that guy.
I was going to say, he's the commanding officer?
He's the carrier driver.
No, I'm talking about who's
Goto.
Goto. Mm-hmm. I love that guy.
He's the best.
He feels like he's so fed up, but I don't think it doesn't really come across as fed up. It's more just like
lackadaisical.
Yeah, aloof.
Go with the flow.
Just kind of like, it is what it is. Right. And I just love that character because it feels very real.
The way he speaks, the way he looks, the way he just carries himself, it's hilarious. Not what you would expect from a division lead of a mobile police force.
Right. I love that he just is in a perpetual state of signing apology letters.
Because of Ota, yes. That was in the last episode we watched. Every cutaway was just him stamping his signature of approval on these apology letters.
Right. It's like, wow.
Because of Ota's mishaps.
That very much encapsulates, I think, what his character is.
Mm-hmm. It's hilarious.
But anyway, as you were saying, your character, the gentle giant.
Part of why I like him so much is because it's the same reason I like Vasaraga, per se.
Yeah.
He's this fucking huge, like, giant of a man.
Right.
So you may expect, like,
right.
Yeah. Like, all brain.
Troll-like,
all brawn, no brain, right?
Right.
But he's just as sweet as can be, in tune with nature type dude.
Yeah.
Loves animals, takes care of the chickens.
Right,
in the coop on the base.
Right.
And a little bit of his backstory that I liked was that he initially wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and be a fisherman. but he gets seasick really easily.
Oh yeah.
So he ended up joining a mobile police force.
There you go. Hey, you laugh, but then there are crazier. I think crazier career paths that people have taken in real life. Where they're like, I went to school for this, but now I'm just like a pipe welder.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, cool.
Went to school for like accounting, and now I'm a fucking architectural engineer.
Exactly. Yeah. I went to school to be a plumber, but now I'm just an artist. Like, hey, that's cool.
I draw pipes instead of
yeah.
connecting them.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is, in so many words, Patlabor. Well, I haven't fully.
Oh, come on now, we got to touch on the other two.
I mean, go ahead, sure. Yeah, I'm just. I don't. I've.
All right.
What we got?
So, my other favorite part of the show is Noah Izumi.
Yeah, lead actress, yeah. Or I guess lead character in this movie.
Right. And Asuma Shinohara.
Yes.
Those two.
Those are great.
My favorite part of the show.
I guess what you would call them is Noah is like the lead of this show. And then there's the entire team kind of behind.
Right.
I feel like Shinohara is like the kind of second like lead of the show a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's like a will they won't they relationship that kind of like has been like blooming as the show. Yeah. I'm only probably 60% of the way through the show.
Right.
So I don't know anything that happens after this, but like as of right now, there's like this very natural like relationship that's kind of growing out of their just proximity, I guess. But it feels natural and it doesn't feel forced or weird or anything like that. And in fact, there's even like some really great real moments where I forgot exactly how it started. It's been a little bit since we watched the episode, but like they didn't quite communicate their thoughts or feelings correctly to each other, and then they were kind of getting upset with each other, which then kind of grew like real people do. It felt very real. You just don't communicate something correctly or whatever.
You say the wrong thing.
Right. Or you just
don't say anything.
Right. Or you say something one way but don't really mean it that way or that kind of stuff. Or just a miscommunication and then people get their feelings hurt. And then, of course, then you just kind of perpetuate your hurt feelings towards each other until like eventually you kind of work it out. Or at least how it happens in like TV and movies and shows and stuff like that. But like that's exactly what happens here is that there's just kind of miscommunication that happens between them. And you're like, and then they're not in a relationship technically, but it feels like they're like in this upset relationship point. And they kind of work things out a little bit. And they're like, you know what? No, actually we are really, really good friends.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. And they're great. And it also works because like Shinohara is like the command car guy. And then she's obviously the infatuated person with the robots. She loves Alphonse.
The thing I love about Noah is that she is this jubilant, bubbly go-getter. Yeah. Always gives things her all.
Yes.
Doesn't quit easily.
Right.
Striving to improve.
If there was a near future where a police force of robots would be involved, I feel like you would be the Noah character.
Bruh,
of like,
dude,
it's like if there was anybody, because Noah has lovingly named Unit 1 Alphonse. That's like her name is even is like tattooed across like the chest area, like it's a call sign almost. And that is, for all intents and purposes, that is her unit that she uses, kind of like her squad car, if you will, for like in current day terms.
Coddles the thing.
The
reason that like direct action isn't her first resort is because she doesn't want to mess him up.
Right.
And she doesn't want to get him dirty.
Exactly. And it makes sense in a way. It's like if you care for a sports car, it's like, you want to take it out and have fun.
That thing in pristine
but at the same time, you're like, I don't want to get it all mucked up or anything,
Mud riding is not on the list.
Right. I want to go out and have fun, but I don't want to like put it in that much danger where I'm like, oh man, this is going to be, I don't want to lose this thing. So it feels very real, and it also adds a character element for her, makes her more deep. in her decisions, it feels rooted in like who she is as a person.
Right.
So I don't know, it feels very well written a lot of times, and she's a great character.
Oh yeah.
And then of course with that, like I said, Shinohara, like
Asuma on the other hand is damn near a polar opposite for her.
Right.
He comes off as kind of a sleaze, kind of lazy.
Right.
Just sort of this
right.
bumbling fool.
When also like his dad.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. His father is the corporate head of Shinohara Heavy Industries, which handles most of the manufacturing of labors in Japan.
Right.
So of course he's like the son of this corporate bigwig who has somehow ended up in the police force.
Right. And I think it's because does he ever like fully mention why, or is it just because
says that he was swindled into it, like his dad made him do it.
I see.
Well, but later on, I think you may get a clearer picture of how it turns out.
I see. Yeah. I love the characters are the strongest part of this, and it's the story is one of those like I don't want to say like monster of the week because it's not like that, but it feels like we're like trickling through like this like main storyline.
Now that you mention it works a lot like Standalone Complex in that regard.
Yeah, is that we have these other like missions that are going on, or like other little fun. There's like one or two like comedic episodes that get thrown in there. That's like fun,
like the ghost one.
Oh God,
or the food order.
Yeah. The food order. Even like I think even it was a little more involved, but like the tree, like the ritual tree or whatever it was. Yeah, like even that one was a little more funny.
Yeah.
But there's a main storyline that we're like progressing through. That once we get to those like heavy story beat episodes, you're like, oh shit, this is like it's all connected. Yeah. But then, of course, a couple episodes later, we're fighting about food orders,
goofy shenanigans,
right, or trying to free spirits. You're like, what is going on here?
Dude, that ghost episode is one of my favorites.
It's great.
It's so good.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we move on? Because I'm saying this because I'm not wanting to cut it short. I haven't finished it, and I would like to continue more.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna say that you better buckle up because we started the Griffin arc.
I was about to say we just got introduced to the Griffin. It hasn't even been turned on yet from what I've seen, and I'm hyped. All black, red visor, can't really go wrong.
Beautiful.
It's gonna look great.
Oh yeah.
The whole reason why I'm kind of cutting it short here is because I really want to talk about Fires at Rubicon.
Yes.
Okay. So this is where we're going to shift gears a little bit.
Armored Core.
So this, again, I'm going to preface, for those of you out there who don't know, I don't know how you don't know, and it's a shame that people don't, but before From Software, which is a game company.
Right.
Before they got the game company, before they got super good at making things like Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, like that vibe.
Yes, their first forays included such titles as Kingsfield.
Right.
Which I really need to get a hold of.
Okay.
I saw a copy of one of them at the GameWare on college.
Okay.
Dude, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was amazed.
Interesting.
Same deal with like Panzer Dragoon. That's they got some shit over there.
Yeah. They made a franchise called Armored Core.
High speed mecha combat.
Oh, gosh, it's so beautiful. They have numerous installments in the franchise
because it's a lengthy series.
It's been around, I think, since like the 90s or so to before the 2000s. Like it's been like, I'm pretty sure it's been like a PlayStation exclusive mostly.
Yeah, for the most
up
part.
Until like the later years where
it's made its way onto the Xbox and a couple of soon to be the PC.
Yeah, like with most things, it all kind of became, everything kind of becomes more cost efficient to be on every platform. But once upon a time, it was a PlayStation exclusive, so you can get all the original ones. anyone, or at least for me, anyone that was a PlayStation owner had it or had played it once.
Yeah.
I got started off on, I'm going to date myself here for a minute. I got started off on Armored Core 2 on the PlayStation 2. And I played the hell out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
I think I played 3 a little bit, kind of enjoyed it, but I don't think I really got back into it until like Last Raven.
But it stuck with you.
Oh, man, it stuck with me. I want to say that it was probably my first and only like foray into like mecha in any ways. Like I'm really trying to think. Because I don't think even in that point in time, I don't think I was like super into Transformers, but I knew of it.
Right.
But like, I think I played a few Transformer games, but I'm pretty sure it was well after Armored Core 2.
Yeah.
Which is also why I think the intro to Armored Core 2, there's like an intro, like with many PlayStation 2 games, like you start the game up, there's like an opening sequence or whatever, and then there's like the start menu where like it just has like the name and it's like press start to continue.
If there's one thing FromSoft does exceedingly well,
it
is intro cinematics.
Bruh. And this one was no different, but it's very nostalgic for me.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to say that was... I had friends that used to watch Gundam Wing all the time, but I don't think I ever really watched that whenever that...
Didn't get into it?
No, because I think they had it on a special channel. I don't think it came on like Cartoon Network, you know what I mean? I forgot how they watched it, but like somehow they were able to get a hold of it.
Right.
I think it was... Because at that point in time, it was early 2000s, like it had just like came out in America, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about that.
Yeah.
It's a great franchise. That's how I got started on it.
People are waking up to it now.
I'm telling you, man. I Armored Core 4 came out and it was pretty fun. And then this game called 4 Answer.
That was the next big thing.
Oh, that was the one. The second that one came out, I played that one a whole bunch, and I was like, "This is." I don't want to say the peak, but like this is what Armored Core is.
One of the peaks.
It was like one of the best ones.
Oh yeah.
And
I still remember the time we went hunting for you a copy.
So I had a copy. I had a copy. I had it on PS3. I don't remember. Did you have it or you didn't? I think.
I have my copy.
Okay, yeah.
From my PlayStation 3.
So again, after I moved away from my parents' house, it must have got lost somewhere in the shuffle of things. It must be somewhere. Yeah. I think my mom must have like a bin of games. It wasn't a lot, or she may have got rid of it. She may have sold them.
She might have a treasure trove sitting around somewhere.
Maybe. I haven't asked, and I probably need to. But so needless to say, I think I saw yours, and I was like, bruh, I kind of want to play this game again because I remember how great it was. And then I think we went on a small goose chase to try and find one. We went to all the local game stores, and everyone was like, no, I don't think so.
Don't have it, bro.
Don't have it. And I remember somebody, I think it was at one of like the local game stores. I forgot what it was. He was like, I don't think you'll be able to find it around. You may be able to find it online though. Yeah. But like
that was the last resort, was just having to order.
Exactly.
That's always the last resort.
Right. But he was like, you got to watch out though, because like that's a great one. So you may pay a little extra for it. I don't think I paid a crazy amount for it, but I think I got it from eBay. It was like a verified seller. It was like really great, and so I went ahead and took the risk and I purchased it. It came here. It worked perfectly fine. And I was super happy.
I remember opening up the package. Shit was wrapped up tight.
Oh, it was good. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So we got all unpackaged. It was all safe. Got here. Everything worked properly. And then I want to say...
that was back when the PS3 was
yes,
up in the
it was in the living room.
Oh, man.
The whole podcast setup was in there.
I missed that.
Yeah?
I missed more when it was like right next to your room.
Really?
That area holds a special place in my heart.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And so I, dude, I remember playing that game in there. I mean, I had it all.
You went through the whole damn thing.
I went through the whole thing, buddy, I enjoyed it. And you can play through. I think you can play through the main storyline a couple times to get like a couple different endings or whatever. I want to say I unlocked 2 out of the like 3 or 4 versions of the ending. So I got a bunch of the achievements unlocked, and I was like, oh man, this is so good.
Yeah.
And then I remember looking back a few months later, and like the price had grown exponentially, and the game is like has been climbing since then.
Right. The beginnings of a stir.
I'm just saying. But it was the start of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got word that there was going to be. Okay, so hear me out.
There were rumors.
There was rumors, and I think I don't want to take credit if I didn't, but I want to say that I started the conversation. I want to say we talked about it on the podcast a little bit of From Software gathering up some people, some beta testers, some players, and being like,
surveys.
Let's say hypothetically we create a game, a fast-paced action game where you're maybe controlling a big robot. There's a lot of weapons involved, heavy customization, and
the hallmarks.
And I'm just saying, hitting on all those buzzwords that like Armored Core is like a heavy customized, fast-paced action mech fighting game. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
And apparently it got some really great feedback from the people that were given that survey.
Been long enough. Let's go ahead and make another.
And all I had to hear was those little things of like them talking about it, and I was like, so you haven't given up yet?
Yes.
And I was like, yes, because so far we have sat dormant for so long.
You're right.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm not saying that I hate the like Souls-like game, but it's not really my favorite format,
right?
Personally,
the only one we've really dipped you into is Bloodborne.
I've seen a pretty good amount of Dark Souls. I haven't actually like played it myself, but like I know the rhythm and I get the vibe of it. Yeah. And it just is not the vibe that I'm just like, ooh, I got to get me some of that. And that's okay. Everyone can have their own preference.
Right.
But I really enjoyed the core games, Armored Core games. And so and it's been a long time since the previous installment.
A full decade.
So at the start of this year when they were talking about the idea of making it happen, I was like, oh man,
please.
I was like, I just don't want this to be bad, / I just don't want them to give up on this.
Yeah. I will never forget the night I saw it.
Bruh.
the fucking reveal trailer,
man.
dude.
If you haven't seen it, there's now 2 trailers. There was like the reveal trailer that came out, and it's like the cinematic masterpiece that I'm talking about. That's like really good, and it's like rendered. It's as you'd imagine for like a great like heavy title game where they spend the
From Soft intro,
right? Cinematic. Yeah, they spend the dollars on that intro. And then the thing that came out yesterday, is in engine like gameplay stuff,
actual gameplay,
and man,
it looks perfect,
buddy.
So good.
There's a couple of things. I see the Souls-like elements in their big stages,
right?
Like one-on-one combat
environments.
Oh, super great. We're already kind of getting like a little. If you watch it, you're getting like a little taste into the story, I think. They use the term Raven like kind of midway through.
Someone's using that call sign.
Someone's using the call sign, and it seems like in universe they're saying like, oh, you're stealing that call sign from somebody else, and how long can you fly on borrowed wings? Like a whole lot, like a lot of like snide remarks.
Whether or not they're talking about you remains to be seen.
Well, but then not only that, but also at the top of that, like you're like brought down to the planet from like out of some sort of like, I guess like sleep, some sort of deep sleep.
Right. You start off as most AC protagonists do, as like this bottom rung of the ladder mercenary,
right?
On his way to work on up,
right? But then, but like, who's to say that this person who's like quote unquote stealing this call sign isn't really that person, just like woken up from the slumber, and it's like you're presumed to be this lowly guy.
Watch it be like an OG.
That's what I'm saying.
Armored Core 1 pilot.
That's what I'm saying.
Motherfucker used the Human Plus program.
Right.
And is now just part of his machine.
Because it seems like, because at the top it says like the augmented human ACS, whatever.
That's totally what it is.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this person is like this augmented human that's like waking up. It is being like dropped back down. And everyone on this planet or on the surface is kind of like talking shit about you as if who the
fuck are you?
Who do you think you are taking a call sign like that and being a big man over here? It's like, oh, do you even know who I am?
No,
I don't think you know who I am. I've been here all along.
Dude.
So I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's whenever hearing all the correlation, I'm like, oh, buddy, this is going to be some good stuff. And I'm excited.
I watched an interview after they released this gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
And they brought the same dude who you saw in like an earlier interview.
Oh, yeah.
Asked him some more questions.
Right.
And they give you a brief rundown, being that the inhabitants of Rubicon are under siege from like this. They say extraterrestrial corporate entity. Now, when they said that, I didn't know if they meant like just a foreign corporation that is now plundering their planet, or if it's just straight up fucking aliens. Now,
probably so.
Oh my god!
The thing is, I think we're on Rubicon.
Yes. Planet Rubicon.
So we're on the planet Rubicon, and I'm pretty sure that the Armored Core games have taken place like on
either
Earth.
on Earth or one on Mars.
I think one on Mars.
Yeah.
So they
relatively familiar territory,
right?
But now we're just completely like in the backwoods
of
the galaxy.
So they may be referencing the fact that like the inhabitants of Rubicon who probably been like maybe born and raised there,
right,
are facing Earthlings that are
outside forces.
Exactly, they're technically extraterrestrial from what the locals are used to, but are still humans.
Fucking aliens,
right. They're just Martians.
Oh god,
they're humans, but they're from a different galaxy or whatever. So it's cool.
Yeah,
the
it
game
looks amazing.
It has the same weight and look to it.
Now, I don't know about you, but the different leg types for a lot of these units felt relatively samey as far as like how they work goes.
Yeah.
But in this trailer, they make sure to highlight like distinct differences between these archetypes. We got our standard like bipedal armored core.
Well, even I'm just to be devil's advocate. I don't know what you're 100% referencing, but like there are some pretty big differences in the other games. At least for Answer, like you get there's some drawbacks and some benefits to each one.
What I've noticed is that if you're going tank, you're going to be focused on like durability. And firepower. You sacrifice
upward momentum. Like you don't have as much jet power. I think in the games primarily, if you do a quadrupedal unit, your speed increases. Right. You become lighter weight because of the way in which it has to operate. So you can like go super fast, but you don't have as much armor.
Right. The only things I ever noticed in the older games with those different types was the speed.
Exactly.
That was the only major thing I ever noticed with them.
Right.
Aside from like, of course, different types of movement.
Yeah.
But in this trailer, you see like the type of maneuverability you expect from standard like armored core unit.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers are just zigzagging, zipping around all over the place. Yeah. And then it just cuts to a quadruped.
Yeah.
It's got a decent speed to him, but then he jumps up in the air. And this motherfucker can hover now.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up, like, a static, like, air movement, like,
and not
raining
only that,
hell
are you talking about the one
whenever,
you're talking about the one where he transforms his legs?
Yeah. Yeah, he just becomes a hovering platform.
Yeah, there's a moment where I at least I could be wrong. I need to see this again. I think I may have interpreted it incorrectly. There's a bipedal unit that jumps off of something and is falling down and then proceeds to open up his legs into 4 different legs.
No. That was whenever it cut to the quadruped.
Is that what
whenever
it was?
you saw the bipedal one jump up, that was just a static shock, and then it cuts to the quadruped.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
It's so cool.
Man, there's a lot of cool stuff. And then, of course, directly after that, there's like a
we
tank.
see the tank.
The tank unit.
Monster
machine. I mean, just like
machine.
blast through and starts like shooting stuff. It's like,
From what I saw, he's got some sort of like ramming ability.
oh, yeah.
He just charges straight through a group of MTs.
Yeah.
And then you can drift.
Oh, I mean, of course.
Like tank
Tokyo
drifting,
drift.
Dude, straight up Hill Dolpher type shit.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is slipping and sliding all over.
I expect no less.
It's beautiful.
That's great, dude.
I love like this, like the panning shot wherever you see him switch weapons and he just fires off like a few missiles. That is so good. It looks amazing.
It's a great vibe.
Yeah.
There's only one. They only did this once. It's one little, I guess, Easter egg. I hope it's an Easter egg.
Yeah.
There's one little bit where there.
Are you talking about the arms fort?
I believe so.
But you do.
Where there's like a boss fight, and it's like or it feels like a boss fight. It's like a big unit, like a big kind of tank-like unit.
It's the motherfucker that crashes through the wall in the first trailer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing this guy, and then but just before that happens, there's a unit, and he's like, you can tell that he's like the person, quote unquote, the person talking, where he's like, oh, this and this unit, how interesting. Right. And like someone responds, and then he is with another unit there, and it's like 2 versus 1.
I'm assuming it's one of the. It may have brought back like the partner system that you saw in like 4 and 4 answer.
Right. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
It could be. It very well could be like a reference to like, because they've done this before in the past. It's like in story modes, like you'll have like a partner, like a wingman or whatever in like a mission.
Sometimes you can choose from 2 or 3.
Right.
They'll cost different amounts.
Exactly.
As far as like what their share is after the mission's over.
Right. So it may be like that.
Yeah,
but the way I took it was like I really hope that, because like the Dark Souls games and even like Elden Ring do a pretty good job of like you can drop in like co-op in a way. And like I
it'd be really cool.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna make or break it, but like I would really love to see some like co-op elements. And instead of it being like mission based, like I mean
I want there to be a dedicated campaign that we can set up a co-op lobby for.
Yes, and like go
that
through.
would be perfect.
Like a Halo lobby, like something like that would be really cool.
Yes.
I also don't know, like, is this going to be like sortie based, or is this like mission based?
Yeah.
Or is this going to be,
who knows?
Or is it going to be like a free roam element?
Yeah, open world type stuff.
It may not. That may be a little ambitious. I mean, one can dream.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, like you were saying before, it's like some sort of like campaign specific lobby that we can hop into and like run through the missions would be super cool. Because in the way while we're saying that, specifically is because in like 4 and 4 answer, I would select a mission. I would have to then like invite Dylan onto the mission, and then we would play the mission. And once it was over, we would like disband afterwards.
Yeah, and that was it.
And then I have to select a new one, and then invite him back into it. And so like it wasn't awful, but it definitely was like a lot of like rinsing and repeating of
tedious.
Like just to kind of get my friend to play with me. Right. I was like, it shouldn't be that hard, I don't think. But
because man, it looks so damn good.
It looks as good as I would hope it would be.
Yeah.
I had no worries that it was going to look the way it was. I worried that it's going to like function like an Armored Core game will.
What did you think of the the bosses we saw?
There's a couple of really cool designs. There's like a Droideka like one where like he rolls out and then like opens
that's
up.
just like a regular enemy.
I think so too. He like rolls out and like has a bunch of like rockets.
Yeah, he
like,
unfurls and then fires out like a fucking shrapnel blast.
Right, from all his like all these like rocket launchers on like what it would be his chest, I guess.
Yeah.
The freaking like the like disc guy that has like a shield around him that like opens up like all these like different I guess like bands of rockets. And just kinda,
it looks like one of the fucking overed weapons from Armored Core 5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
There's like this big unit.
The arms fort.
Oh god,
the fucking arms fort.
Dude, there's so many cool arms forts in this franchise, and man,
the spirit of Mother Will being chief among them. But this new fucker, though.
Yeah. Looks pretty
cool. Huge.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Big ass fucking drill worm.
Oh, and the one thing that we did, oh my god, the drill
dude,
worm,
what
dude.
the fuck is that?
We're in like this sand place, and there's like this massive freaking.
Is that
sand
fucking
worm.
dirt?
Yeah, exactly. Just coming out the sand.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I can say, we are, there was a hot minute in there where we really thought that we were going to be waiting until the end of December, and I'm pretty sure on this podcast we commented on it, and we got a little sassy, a little pissy. In our defense, we were like, it's supposed to come out in
December 31st.
We were told it was supposed to be coming out in 2023, and then somehow Dylan found out that it was potentially the 31st of December 2023, and I was
this was after I had pre-ordered my copy from GameStop, like as soon as it was available.
Right.
And of course, they reveal that there is a premium edition at the end of this new gameplay trailer, and I'm like, well,
shit.
I've got an adjustment to make.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna be securing one of those for myself as soon as I possibly can.
You better be Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
Because if the anniversary collection of all, like the 20-year anniversary collection of all the CDs go, where all of every single soundtrack is on a CD in like a
big old box
old box set, dude, it's expensive right now.
It is,
which is crazy.
Sucks.
Understandable, and I'm glad that there are people out there that love the franchise that much. But yeah,
I want one.
but the deluxe edition comes with
a little figurine of our mascot suit.
Yes, in like a garage format, like that you can have as
straight
well.
Up
It's
diorama.
It's huge.
It's beautiful.
And it comes with like some pins, some stickers,
an art book,
a fat ass art book,
the soundtrack,
and also of course the deluxe version of the game with all the digital stuff that comes with
steel
it.
Case.
Oh man,
everything you could ever want.
And for a collector like Dylan, that of course has a very great plethora.
It is the most stacked bait I have ever seen.
Bruh, it is exactly up his alley.
I'm like biting, things. Bro. They got me hook, line, and sinker.
There's a few things that you have in your collection that are like that. Some very special things.
Right.
Special like collector's edition
that I'm
sets.
holding on to.
Oh yeah, some great. The Shadow of Colossus statue is a prime example of things that just don't come around very often.
How much merch have you seen for Shadow of Colossus?
None.
Fucking none.
Squat.
I picked that statue up the second I saw it because I knew there was never gonna be anything else like it. And if I had to get it later, it'd be way too expensive.
Oh yeah, but that's prime example. But yeah, and I feel like this is one of those times as well where this is a franchise that again has come back from a decade-long hiatus,
the grave that I never thought to dig up again.
Exactly, and it's right up your alley.
It's a dream come true.
Fighting mobile suits and and it's like, man, okay, this is pretty cool. This is great, and I don't blame you for not wanting to pass that up.
Oh yeah, no, I'm getting that shit. There's no question.
Chase, friend of the show, Chase, we've all heard of him. We love him. He was trying to heckle you for a minute. I was like, Chase, I'm gonna need you to shut your mouth real quick because I don't think you understand what you're.
Shut the fuck up.
I know.
You don't know.
I know this doesn't mean anything to you. But for Dylan and I, this means a lot right now. And just know that you're the minority in this conversation.
Are you really my friend?
Yeah.
Do you know me?
Because right now, I don't think you are. I don't think you know what I need right now.
You forgot who I am.
Right. I have been silently waiting while new Dark Soul after new Dark Soul, new Elden Ring DLC.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sitting here patiently waiting.
Yeah.
And they dropped this hot off the press stuff right now. You think I'm not going to go and just grab that for myself? No.
Yeah. I'm halfway tempted not even to cancel my initial pre-order at GameStop just so that I can order straight from Bandai Namco's website. Because right now, as far as I know, that's the only place it's available.
Really?
I checked GameStop's website. Now, this is just me being impatient, of course, because it was announced like hours ago.
Yeah, literally.
So, of course, they may not have updated their inventory yet.
Maybe. But I wouldn't bank on it.
It's for sale.
I wouldn't
right now.
Really?
On Bandai Namco's website. You can pre-order it right now.
You better, buddy.
I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm getting 2 copies of this shit.
I mean, hey, dude. Damn. That's amazing, dude.
It's the same thing I did with No More Heroes 3. I now have 3 different versions of that game.
I mean, hey. It's a franchise.
4, if you.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I've bought that game 4 times.
I mean, hey.
It was at the same level that Armored Core is right now for me as far as like hype goes.
Of course.
Now, No More Heroes 3 delivered. I fucking love that game.
Right.
And that to me is worth buying multiple times because I want to support the creator.
Of course.
As much as I can. I want him to keep making shit like this.
Yeah.
I am damn well gonna do the same for Armored Core.
Yeah.
Just to show
that
the fan base for this is still alive.
Oh,
I'm still here and I want more, bitch.
I'm still here and I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Mm-mm.
I agree wholeheartedly.
In fact, look it up right now.
Okay,
go to Namco's website, see what they got going on.
Okay. Yeah.
I scoured, dude. I looked everywhere else, nothing. It's only on their website right now.
That's crazy, dude.
It's ridiculous.
I'm actually super surprised that Bandai Namco is like, I wouldn't say surprised. Mm-hmm. It's interesting and it's really awesome that they're a part of this because, I mean, of all the people that, could really facilitate something like this. I'm on the website. I need to figure out how to.
I think you might be able to go to, if you just type it in, I'm sure you'll be able to pull it up. But yeah, that shit's worth every penny to me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Come on.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it from this guy.
Oh yeah, I'm sold. I'm committed.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll look this up. I'll look this up later.
Yeah.
But we're at time, if you can believe it.
Oh shit.
We filled up our hour time slot.
Damn.
So
well,
yeah.
It's been a bash.
Of course, for anybody out there who has appreciated hearing us.
Fucking die before next week comes over. Shit.
So basically, anybody out there who is a big fan of robots of any kind, or fighting games, or heavy customization, just check out. And you don't know what Armored Core is?
Look at the older games, but not the new one.
I'm just saying, dude.
Just because I need a premium edition set aside for me.
Right, please.
But if next week rolls around and they're sold out, I'm gonna fucking kill someone.
Oh yeah, dude. You better. They're gonna be hot off the press. Anyways, if for anybody out there that loves the Souls-like games, loves Elden Ring, loves Bloodborne, all that kind of stuff, it's from the same people. So I'd imagine it's gonna have the same weight, same vibe, probably. Yeah. But a little different setting, a little different package. So if that's something that's up your alley, give it a shot. I'm over here. I'm like a spokesperson for it, even though they don't need my help. But I mean, hey,
we are proponents.
I'm just saying,
we're gonna push this shit for SummerSlam like it's nobody's business.
Keep Armored Core alive for SummerSlam. Is it keep Armored Core alive? Because trust me,
this is an angel off the ropes moment right now.
Well, anyways, if you are looking to find us, you can type in Linktree/Ian Wolf, and you should be able to find all of our links there, or other ways that you can listen to this podcast if you need to, or just type in The Aftermath on any of the major podcasting platforms. You should be able to find us that way. Or send a rocket ship with your Raven in it to Rubicon itself. And of course,
harvest that coral sun.
Just drop it down real hard, and you'll find the podcast down there. If you upload it directly to your AC Armored Core unit, you just can. We'll
just be sitting in a big ass table in our own ACs, and you'll have to fight us if you want to hear the episode.
Yeah. Challenge me to a one-on-one Armored Core battle, and then when you defeat me, if you defeat me, then I'll give you the podcast.
Right.
But anyways, until next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Good night, fuckers.